The Vorthan hegemony had ruled the Andromeda Spiral for 3 million years. Their biomechanical fleets had crushed thousands of upstart civilizations, turning entire star systems into resource extraction zones. When they encountered the humans of New Eden Colony, they expected another routine conquest. They were catastrophically wrong. Admiral Kethvar stood on the bridge of the hegemony flagship Worldrender, surveying the smoldering remains of what had once been humanity's most prosperous outer colony. New Eden's 12 billion inhabitants had been reduced to ash in less than 6 hours. The planet's surface still glowed with the aftereffects of plasma bombardment. Its oceans boiled away into space. "Another primitive species eliminated," remarked his tactical officer, Zex Thul, her biomechanical implants clicking with satisfaction. The humans showed remarkably little resistance for a spacefaring civilization. Admiral Kethvar's 4 eyes focused on the tactical display. Something bothered him about this conquest, though he couldn't identify what. The humans had indeed offered minimal resistance, a few outdated defense platforms, some mining vessels hastily converted to combat roles. It had been almost too easy. "Sir," called the communications specialist from across the bridge, "we're receiving standard diplomatic channels from the human homeworld. They're requesting a ceasefire and negotiations." The bridge crew erupted in the harsh barking sounds that passed for laughter among the Vorthans. Negotiations after a planet had been annihilated. The humans were even more naive than expected. "Put them through," Kethvar ordered, curious to hear the inevitable pleading and surrender terms. The holographic display shimmered, revealing a human woman in what appeared to be a simple military uniform. No ornate decorations, no intimidating biomechanical enhancements, just flesh and fabric. Her calm expression struck Kethvar as oddly unsettling. "I am Fleet Admiral Sarah Chen of the United Earth Defense Command," she said, her voice eerily steady for someone whose species had just lost 12 billion citizens. "I'm calling to inform you that you have 72 hours to evacuate all Vorthan forces from human-claimed space." The bridge fell silent except for the ambient hum of biomechanical systems. Then Zex Thul began laughing, a sound like metal grinding against bone. "Admiral, the human seems to believe she's in a position to make demands." But Kethvar wasn't laughing. Something in the human's eyes reminded him of an ancient Vorthan proverb, "Beware the prey that doesn't run." "You just witnessed the annihilation of one of your colonies," he said slowly. 12 billion of your kind are dead. "And you're making demands?" Admiral Chen nodded once. "New Eden was evacuated 6 months ago. Every civilian, every family, every child. What you destroyed was an automated manufacturing facility and a few thousand volunteers who stayed behind to maintain the illusion of a populated world." The tactical display behind Kethvar began updating as his sensors conducted deep scans of the dead planet. No organic signatures. The energy readings were all wrong for a populated world. The debris patterns were inconsistent with residential structures. "Impossible," Zex Thul snarled. "Our intelligence networks would have detected such a massive evacuation." "Your intelligence networks," Chen replied, "have been compromised for the better part of 2 years. We've been feeding you exactly the information we wanted you to have, including the location and apparent vulnerability of New Eden." Kethvar felt the first stirrings of something he hadn't experienced in centuries: fear. You wanted us to attack?" "We needed to understand your capabilities," Chen said matter-of-factly. "Your weapons, your tactics, your psych—" "How many ships?" Kethvar demanded. "Sir, preliminary reports suggest thousands, possibly tens of thousands." Admiral Chen's image remained perfectly calm amid the chaos erupting on the Vorthan bridge. For 300 years, humanity has been preparing for this moment. While you believed we were a minor frontier species, we were building. While you saw us as scattered colonists, we were organizing. While you dismissed us as primitives, we were learning everything about you." The display showed real-time footage from across Vorthan space. Human ships, sleek, angular vessels, unlike anything in Kethvar's databases, struck with surgical precision at hegemony installations. But these weren't random raids. Every target was carefully chosen: communication relays, fuel depots, command centers. The humans weren't trying to conquer territory. They were systematically dismantling the hegemony's ability to coordinate its forces. "You wanted to test our defenses?" Shen asked. "Here's what you discovered. We don't have any. Because we don't need them. We don't fight wars the way you do, Admiral. We don't build static defenses and wait for attacks. We identify threats and eliminate them." Zex Thor was frantically working her controls, trying to coordinate the hegemony's response. "Admiral, the communication networks are failing. The humans have somehow infiltrated our quantum entanglement arrays." 71 hours and 37 minutes, Chen announced, as if commenting on the weather. "That's how long you have to begin your withdrawal from all systems claimed by humanity. This includes the 17 sectors you've occupied in the past century that belong to our allied species." "Allied species?" Kethvar found himself asking, though he dreaded the answer. "The Kalari Confederacy, the Nexus Coalition, the free worlds of Kepler. Civilizations you destroyed, Admiral, thinking they were isolated and helpless." They weren't helpless. They were recruiting. The implications hit Kethvar like a physical blow. For centuries, the hegemony had been eliminating what they thought were isolated civilizations. But humanity had been there first, making alliances, sharing technology, preparing for exactly this moment. "You see, Admiral," Chen continued, "humanity has a peculiar trait that seems to be rare in the galaxy. When we see injustice, we remember it. When we see innocents slaughtered, we plan revenge. And we're very, very patient." The tactical display now showed the true scope of the operation. This wasn't just a human assault, it was a coordinated strike by dozens of species, all using human-designed stealth technology.